Hi, everybody. It is time for episode 20 of Stories from Your Gaffer. I'm Clint McElroy. With me, my beloved Carol McElroy.
Cooking. It's an apron.
Yeah, it's an apron. She's not wearing a jumper. We wanted to make sure you knew that.
I had to clarify that
right off the bat because
there's a lot.
Our jumper's not cool.
Not when you're over the age of like 19 or something you wear when you're in schools with uniforms. You can wear jumpers. Old women wearing jumpers isn't cool.
Not cool. Okay. Well, we won't do that. We are in the home stretch in The Wonderful Wizard of Oz by L. Frank Baum. We're up to chapter 19. This one is called Attacked by the Fighting Trees. Ah!
Okay. The next morning, Dorothy kissed the pretty green girl goodbye, and they all shook hands with the soldier with the green whiskers, who had walked with them as far as the gate. When the guardian of the gate saw them again, he wondered greatly that they could leave the beautiful city to get into new trouble. But he at once unlocked their spectacles, which he put back in the green box, and gave them many good wishes to carry with him.
You are now our ruler, he said to the Scarecrow, so you must come back to us as soon as possible. I shall if I am able, the Scarecrow replied, but I must help Dorothy to get home first.
As Dorothy bade the good-natured guardians a last farewell, she said, I have been very kindly treated in your lovely city, and everyone has been good to me. I cannot tell you how grateful I am.
Oh, don't try, my dear, he answered. We should like to keep you with us, but if it is your wish to return to Kansas, I hope you will find a way. He then opened the gate of the outer wall, and they walked forth and started upon their journey.
The sun shone brightly as our friends turned their faces towards the land of the south. That's that way.
That way? Every time you turn, our branches get tangled.
No, the fighting trees. And they were all in the best of spirits and laughed and chatted together. Dorothy was once more filled with the hope of getting home, and the Scarecrow and the Tin Woodman were glad to be of use to her. As for the lion, he sniffed the fresh air with delight and whisked his tail from side to side in pure joy at being in the country again, while Toto ran around them and chased the moths and butterflies, barking merrily all the time.
City life does not agree with me at all, remarked the lion as they walked along at a brisk pace. I have lost much flesh since I lived there, and now I am anxious for a chance to show the other beasts how courageous I have grown.
They now turned and took a last look at the Emerald City. All they could see was a mass of towers and steeples behind the green walls, and high above everything, the spires and dome of the Palace of Oz.
Oz was not such a bad wizard after all, said the Tin Woodman, as he felt his heart rattling around in his breast. He knew how to give me brains, and very good brains too, said the Scarecrow. If Oz had taken a dose of the same courage he gave me, added the lion, he would have been a brave man.
Dorothy said nothing. Oz had not kept the promise he had made to her, but he had done his best, so she forgave him. As he said, he was a good man, even if he was a bad wizard. The first day's journey was through the green fields and bright flowers that stretched out among the Emerald City on every side. They slept that night on the grass with nothing but the stars over them, and they rested very well indeed. In the morning, they traveled until they came to a thick wood. There was no way of going around it, for it seemed to extend to the right and to the left, as far as they could see. And
that was defensive. I didn't want you to poke my eye out.
Right. And besides, they did not dare change the direction of their journey for fear of getting lost. So they looked for the place where it would be easiest to get in the forest. The Scarecrow, who was in the lead, finally discovered a big tree with such wide branches that there was plenty of room for the party to pass underneath. So he walked forward to the tree, but just as he came under the first branch, they bent down and twined around him. My branches are going to fall. Got it?
Got it.
And the next minute, he was raised up from the ground and flung headlong into his fellow travelers. They did not hurt the scarecrow, but surprised him, and he looked rather dizzy when Dorothy picked him up.
Here was another space between the trees, called the lion. Let me try it first, said the scarecrow, for it doesn't hurt me to get thrown about. He walked up to another tree as he spoke, but its branches immediately seized him and tossed him back again.
This is strange, exclaimed Dorothy. What shall we do?
The trees seem to have made up their minds to fight us and stop our journey, remarked the lion. I believe I will try it myself, said the woodman, and shouldering his axe,
Jeff Hannon?
He marched up to the first tree that had handled the scarecrow so roughly. When a big branch bent down to seize him, the woodman chopped at it so fiercely that he cut it in two. At once the tree began shaking all of its branches as if in pain, and the Tin Woodman passed safely under it. Come on, he shouted to the others. Be quick. They all ran forward and passed under the tree without injury, except Toto, who was caught by a small branch and shaken until he howled. But the woodman promptly chopped off the branch and set the little dog free.
All the other trees of the forest did nothing to keep them back. So they made up their minds that only the first row of trees could bend down their branches, and that, presumably, were these policemen of the forest. And given this wonderful power in order to keep strangers out of the forest. The four travelers walked with ease through the trees until they came to the further edge of the wood. Then, to their surprise, they found before them a high wall, which seemed to be made of white china, and it was smooth like the surface of a dish, higher than their heads. What shall we do now? Asked Dorothy.
I will make a ladder, said the Tin Woodman, for we certainly must climb over the wall. There you have it. Tomorrow night, chapter 20. This has the title of The Dainty China Country.
I'm not wearing anything china on my head.
Oh.
Sorry.
I guess I could send it back to Amazon.
Probably could.
Okay, so Carol wanted cute in the picture I'm about to reveal.
Oh, the
so
baby angel griffin.
I got a Christmas picture of little Griffin. Here we go.
Look at that little angel face.
Look at that.
He still has the face of an angel.
Yeah.
A little devious one, but an angel.
An angel, yeah, there you go. There's my ditto. So, thank you for being with us again this evening. Like I said, we're winding down. Be thinking maybe of, what you would like us to read after this. So, maybe come up with some suggestions. We'll see. In the meantime, stay safe, stay healthy, and like we always say, no matter how dark the times get, choose joy.
Bye.